Have you noticed that the more you try to win over a woman, the more she pulls away? Meanwhile, those guys who seem not to care are the ones they desire the most? This is no coincidence. There is a set of behaviors that trigger the right psychological mechanisms and make women feel the need to win you over. Today, I'll reveal exactly what you need to do to reverse the situation and make them chase after you. But before I share this valuable content, like this channel and subscribe now. After all, it costs nothing, and I'll continue to provide knowledge that truly changes lives. Agreed? Imagine a classic scenario. You meet a woman, feel a connection, but suddenly she starts ignoring you. Her messages become rarer. The energy is not the same anymore, and you realize you're falling into the trap that most men fall into, an uncontrolled emotional reaction. Panic sets in, and the first thing many do is seek confirmation. They insist, ask what happened. Try to reverse the situation with words. This is a fatal mistake. The great truth about the dynamics of attraction is that women are not attracted to emotional vulnerability. On the contrary, they have a natural respect for men who maintain control over their reality, regardless of their reactions. And this is where strategic distance comes into play, a concept that few understand, but that can completely change your approach to women, and moreover, transform your mentality as a man. When a woman notices that your absence deeply affects you, she gains psychological control over you. This doesn't mean they all do it with premeditation or cruelty, but that it is an unconscious mechanism of female nature. Women are attracted to men who convey emotional stability and security, and the worst thing you can do when she starts to pull away is to show desperation. Here's the point that separates ordinary men from those who naturally evoke desire. Silence and calm presence are powerful weapons. While most react predictably, seeking explanations and trying to reverse the situation with words, the man who understands the game simply does not react. He accepts her withdrawal as a fact of reality and continues his life without losing composure. This type of reaction is counterintuitive for most men, but it is exactly what triggers an emotional response in the female mind. Why does silence have such a strong impact on the female psyche? Humans in general have an instinct to seek closure in ambiguous situations. When someone breaks contact or doesn't respond in the expected way, our brain automatically enters a state of anxiety. For women, this intensifies when the lack of response comes from a man they thought they had under control. Unexpected silence raises doubts. Did he lose interest? Did he find another woman? Did I not appreciate him? This uncertainty is a powerful psychological factor because instead of chasing and reinforcing her belief that she has power over you, you reverse the situation and make her start wondering. The value she attributes to you begins to grow in her mind because what is rare becomes valuable. How to apply strategic distance in practice. Now that you understand the concept, the next step is knowing how to apply it correctly. Strategic distance does not mean ignoring out of ego or pride, but intelligent emotional action to position yourself as a high-value man. Here are 3 basic pillars. 1. Maintain emotional composure. When you feel the impulse to send an impulsive message, stopping to reflect is key. Ask yourself, what would a high-value man do in this situation? The answer will never be, beg for attention. 2. Be mysterious and unpredictable. Instead of always being available and predictable, create some mystery. This does not mean playing childish games, but fully living without the need for her approval. 3. Build a reality where she is an addition, not the center. Men who have bigger goals than chasing female approval naturally attract more women. When you fill your mind and life with personal development and ambitious goals, your energy changes, and women notice it from afar. Strategic distance is not about manipulation, but about becoming a man who doesn't lose his head for a bit of attention. When you stop chasing, something magical happens. They start chasing you. Now moving on to the second thing you need to understand. Rarity is a component of attraction. If something is always available, predictable, and within reach, it automatically loses value. This applies to everything in life, from a luxury item to a man's attention. Women, like everyone else, crave something that seems hard to get, that has a sense of exclusivity and doesn't give in easily. The mistake many men make is believing that the more present they are, the more valued they will be. They think that showing full availability and being always ready to respond, help, or chase will make her notice they are good options. But the actual effect is the opposite. As soon as she notices that you're always ready to respond, go out, help, or chase, you become predictable, and predictability kills desire. Why is that which is rare more valuable? Imagine two scenarios. You can eat your favorite dish every day effortlessly. You have access to that dish only once a month, and when you do, it is a special experience. Which of the two situations evokes a greater desire? Which makes you truly appreciate the moment? That's exactly how the game of attraction works. What is rare is more valued because it generates a sense of achievement, of reward. Now think, what experience do you offer women? Are you a dish available every day, or one that can be appreciated only by those who truly deserve it? Rarity is not a game, it's positioning. Many confuse rarity with manipulation. It's not about deliberately ignoring messages, disappearing without reason, or pretending to lack interest. True rarity comes from a man who has a life so full, so filled with purpose and ambition, that he naturally cannot be available all the time. A truly valuable man doesn't have to pretend to be rare. He simply is. Because he has many things going on in his life, he has goals, he has limited time, and therefore makes his presence valuable. Here are 3 fundamental principles to build rarity naturally and authentically. Create a life that doesn't revolve around women. Most men live seeking female approval. They adjust their routine, hours, and even life plans to please women. Rare men, on the other hand, have something greater: business, a mission, a path of development. Women naturally notice this difference. Control your attention and time. A valuable man's time is not wasted on empty conversations, quick messages, or aimless interactions. He chooses where to invest his energy. This makes his attention meaningful when he gives it. Be unpredictable in an authentic way. A predictable man is boring. If she always knows exactly when you will write, what you will say, and how you will react, you lose any sense of mystery. Rarity lies in unpredictability, in the fact that your life is so dynamic that you cannot be easily fit into a predictable routine for her. When you stop completely giving yourself away and become more selective with your time and attention, something interesting happens. Women start to perceive you differently. What was once certain now becomes uncertain. What was once always available must now be earned. And this simple change changes everything, because women do not chase what is obvious. They chase what has a sense of achievement. Now I have to tell you something very important. I know you've experienced this already. You see that amazing woman. She walks past you. You exchange glances, maybe even a slight smile. Your heart races. Your mind starts thinking about 1,000 things. but you hesitate. Something holds you back. You feel that invisible pressure that stops you from acting. But I really have a solution for you that changes everything. There is a small detail, one difference, that separates men who succeed from the crowds who fail. It's not about looks, money, or status. It's about knowing exactly how to approach and what to say, effortlessly, without fear, and without rejection. And this is where the solution I've prepared for you comes in. Imagine having in your hands a method that transforms every exchange of glances into a real connection. A tested path that teaches you how to generate attraction naturally, without pretense and without desperation. A simple way to go from interest to desire, from desire to a real connection, and from connection to a kiss, all without the need for games, without the need to pretend to be someone you're not. The issue is simple. Men who know this skill live at the top of the pyramid, while the rest are lost, repeating the same mistakes because they lack the right knowledge. What once seemed impossible is now within your reach. And believe me, this is not something you can put off, because with each passing day, you miss opportunities while other men master this art and win over the women you would like to meet. The choice is yours. If you want to remain in the same place, ignoring this opportunity, that's fine. But if you decide to act now, everything can change for you, and quickly. The ebook is pinned in the comments, and once you gain this knowledge, no one can take it away from you. So to sum up, you will always have the best women by your side. So click now and discover how to turn every opportunity into an unforgettable moment. And thirdly, there is an even deeper principle that directly affects the female psyche. Absence creates doubts, and doubts generate desire. The truth is that no one values what they are sure they possess. This applies to relationships, business, friendships, and every social dynamic. Humans are driven by what they cannot fully control. And when a woman feels that she has full control over you, attraction begins to fade. Think now about the guys who are constantly chasing women, sending incessant messages, always ready to please. They think they are strengthening the bond, but in reality, they are doing the opposite. They become obvious, predictable, and devoid of emotional impact. Meanwhile, the man who doesn't give in easily, who isn't always available, starts to become a puzzle in her mind. This happens because the human brain doesn't handle uncertainties well. When something becomes uncertain, the mind enters a state of hyper-focus, trying to solve the puzzle. And that's the whole trick. You want to be the puzzle she feels the need to solve. Many men try to convince a woman of their worth through words. They explain, argue, try to prove that they are good partners. But what truly has an impact is not what you say, but what she feels when you're not there. When a man steps back and stops reacting to a woman's behavior, something powerful happens. She starts to wonder what's going on. Did he lose interest? Did he find someone else? I thought I had him figured out, but now I'm not so sure. That small space for doubt is enough to spark a new level of interest. Now, instead of feeling comfortable and confident in controlling the situation, she starts to feel a slight emotional discomfort, and this discomfort creates an unconscious desire to regain the attention that was once guaranteed. Absence only works when it's genuine. There's no point in forcing or trying to ignore her forcefully to see if she'll react. That's immaturity. The true strength lies in simply having a life so well organized that your absence occurs naturally. Never be 100% available. If you respond to all messages immediately, are always ready to meet requests or change your plans for her, You don't allow space for absence to have an impact. Reduce that availability a bit and see how the dynamics change. Give her space to miss you. Often, men think they need to maintain constant contact to not lose a woman. But the truth is, the more she misses you, the stronger the interest. If you always fill that space with messages and calls, she'll never have the chance to feel that absence. Be a man, always on the move. The type of man that attracts women the most is the one who seems to have his own world. A guy who is always engaged in something interesting, has his own schedule, and doesn't need anyone's attention to feel fulfilled. The most important point is this: when a woman notices that your presence is not guaranteed, she starts to value it much more. You don't have to ask for anything, beg, or try to prove your worth. Absence does it for you. Once you understand the power of absence, it's time to take it to an even higher level. And here's something few men realize. The greatest response you can give a woman who ignores or underestimates you does not lie in words, but in your personal development. Stop and think. What is more impactful for a woman? A man who, when ignored, panics, insists, tries to win her back with messages and shows a lack of confidence, or a man who simply accepts the situation, moves on with life and, when least expected, appears on a completely new level, more successful, confident, and with even better options. The second option will always be more powerful, because, in the end, what truly makes a woman reconsider a man is not what he says, but who he becomes. Silent evolution that sparks interest. There is a psychological concept called late awakening of desire. It happens when someone recognizes the value of another person only after losing them, or after that person has developed to the point of being out of reach. This happens all the time. The guy who was ignored in school and years later became a successful entrepreneur and started to be desired by the same women who previously overlooked him. The man who was dumped by his girlfriend, but instead of wallowing in sadness, used it as fuel for growth, development, and becoming a better version of himself. And when she saw him again, she realized what she had lost. The lesson is simple. When you use every setback as a stimulus for your development, you become someone who cannot be ignored. How to use self-focus to change the game. If, instead of wasting energy understanding what a woman wants, you direct it towards becoming a better man in all aspects of your life, the effect will be overwhelming. Here are 3 ways to do it. Build something that satisfies you. It could be a project, a business, a new skill, or a personal goal. Men who have something bigger in their lives emanate a different energy. They are not available for everything because they are busy building something meaningful. Turn rejection into fuel. Every time a woman ignores you, instead of feeling inferior, use it as a signal that it's time to level up. Go to the gym, learn something new, improve your style, increase your income. Every step that makes you feel stronger and more independent. Show your evolution. Without speaking. When a woman notices that you've grown and evolved without her needs, her reaction will be automatic. Not because you tried to prove something, but because you simply became someone everyone would like to have around. When your growth becomes the best revenge, nothing hits harder than silent success. When a woman notices that a man she ignored now has other options, has become more interesting, more confident, and more successful, the psychological impact is inevitable. She may say nothing, she may pretend not to care, but internally she feels it, and that feeling of losing control is one of the most powerful triggers of attraction. Now, the 5th rule on the list: zero contact, the art of emotional rebuilding. When you find yourself in a situation where a woman is ignoring you or putting you in second place, the instinctive reaction is to want to reach out, ask for explanations, or even try to reverse the situation with greater effort. But here's the key. That's exactly what you should not do. Zero contact is not about pride or revenge. It's not about cutting someone out of your life because of a bruised ego. The real goal is emotional rebuilding, both yours and hers. When you start to distance yourself and break contact strategically, something powerful happens. You reclaim your personal power. You stop being dependent on her approval and start living your life without needing her acceptance to feel good about yourself. This absence, instead of being perceived as rejection, becomes a recalibration of the emotional dynamics. Zero contact has the power to give you the space necessary for emotional reorganization and allows her to reflect on what happened. It's not about stopping caring, but about providing time and space for her to recognize the value you had and what she lost by letting you go, reclaiming your personal power. By breaking contact, you regain control of the situation. You move from being someone who always reacts to being a man who has the last word in his destiny, creating space for growth. Zero contact allows you to focus entirely on yourself. It's the perfect time for personal and emotional development. Spending this time without her, you start to see that your happiness does not depend on anyone but yourself. She is confused and reflects on what she lost. The silence you create makes her ponder what happened and, more importantly, what she lost. Deep down, women fear losing something they value. The moment she realizes she lost you, the feeling of not knowing where you are begins to emerge. This, in turn, can spark an intense desire to reverse the situation. Here's the secret that few talk about. Women do not value what is too easy. When you are no longer available 24/7, something in their psyche starts to change. The lack of control over you generates uncertainty, and when she starts to feel that she lost something good, her desire for you begins to intensify. The secret of zero contact is that during this time, you don't just distance yourself from her. You distance yourself emotionally, showing no need or desire to reconnect. This distancing creates powerful emotional rebuilding, both for you and for her. She begins to see the value of your absence, while you rebuild yourself as a stronger, more independent, and more valuable man. When you come back after breaking contact, your dynamic will have completely changed. You will no longer be the person who always sought her approval or chased after her. You will be a man who has something to offer, but doesn't need her to feel complete. The difference will be noticeable. She will see in you a man who has matured, who has developed, and who now, if she wants to come back, will have to earn it. But in the end, I must remind you, if you like this immensely valuable content, don't waste time. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and to truly master this game of attraction and personal evolution, download my exclusive ebook that will help you take one more step in this journey of transformation. Don't wait any longer to become the man you deserve to be. And finally, the last rule, perhaps the most impactful of all, the inevitable return. It's true, she will come back. But the real question is, who will you be when she returns? Here's the secret that few know and even fewer apply. When you apply the principles I've shared so far, silence, rarity, self-focus, zero contact, you transform your life to the extent that when she finally comes back, you'll already be on a different level. And at this new level, she will no longer be the center of your world. You've probably heard this before, but now, with all the emotional and mental foundation you've built, you'll be able to see things differently. Attraction will no longer stem from your need for her, but from your independence, your growth, and the full life you've built for yourself. You will no longer need her to feel accepted. This will make her see you as a challenge, someone she cannot easily have. And the reality is that when a woman sees that she can no longer control you, she starts to want what she cannot have. When she finally comes back, and this will happen sooner or later, something fundamental will occur. You will realize that you no longer need her, and that is the greatest strength you can have in a relationship. Her return will no longer be about the need to regain what was lost, but recognizing who you've become in her absence. Now you have control over your own happiness and your own path. She will come back, but you will be so developed and focused on your own journey that she will be an addition, not a necessity. In the past, when you tried to please her, chased after her, and sought acceptance, things were unbalanced. Now you have become the prize, someone she respects and admires for who you are and who you've become. This is the power of personal evolution. When you focus on yourself, on your own development, success, her perception of you changes dramatically. She will want to come back, but more importantly, you will realize that you no longer need her to be happy or feel fulfilled. The only thing she can now offer is an addition to your life, and you will not accept just anything. You will evaluate whether she truly deserves a place in your journey or if she is still after you for the wrong reasons. If you are truly committed to applying all the knowledge I've shared here, and if you are ready to become the man who attracts women without needing them, the transformation begins with a commitment to yourself. It's not just about listening to this content. It's about consistent action, continuous evolution, and never allowing anyone to define who you are. The power is now in your hands. You have all the tools to change your life forever. Now, if you are committed to your evolution, transforming your mindset, and building the life you've always dreamed of, leave a comment saying, "I am committed to my evolution." And of course, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and download the ebook to get even deeper and more valuable content that will help you apply everything you've learned and more.